All right, should be live. What's going on YouTube? See if any people come in here, but if not, no biggie. I was gonna do a commentary type of video, but I don't feel like editing and all that. This live thing is pretty nice because I could just turn the mic on, turn on Google Hangouts, and just talk. So hope you guys are having a good day. I just wanted to talk about this whole mature games. Whoops, let me get this off. Damn echo. The mature games versus kiddie games, because I see a lot of people running around with this opinion about, oh, this game is kiddie, therefore I'm not going to play it. They puff their chest out, got this ego going on, like I'm a man and I'm not going to play that kiddie trash. And that seems to be an opinion I see a lot. It's very rampant out here. There's a lot of that going on. Let's be real. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about the whole, idea of a quote unquote kiddie game. Like, what are we even really talking about? Are we talking about art style? Are we talking about characters? Are we talking about the fact that a game is just on Nintendo, so it must be kiddie? Like, I'm really trying to kind of figure it out. I'm trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. What do they really mean by this? What's up, Kofi, Blandrew, you guys? What's going on? I'm sure you guys have some input on this as well. But yeah, it's like, what are we really talking about here? It kind of makes my head hurt, to be honest. Like when I see these debates going on YouTube or Twitter or whatever, it makes my head hurt, honestly. But what was my main point? I'm already losing my point. See, this is a problem with live stuff because you don't really know, you don't really have like a set like script or anything, but I'm gonna try my best I can to kind of diagnose this or see what people mean. I've asked people on Twitter, what do you exactly mean by this? I even asked people today. I was like, do you mean it's the art style? What do you mean when you say a game is kiddie? And they can never really seem to answer. I don't know if you guys ever noticed this. I don't know if it's because they're stumped or it's because they just don't see my tweet or they just don't want to talk to me anymore. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm annoying them. I don't know. But they never seem to give me an answer like, okay, this game is kiddie because 1, 2, and 3, and they give these reasons. They never really do. Mature themes, storylines, not necessarily. Well, I could kind of see what you're saying. Like, I was trying to think, well, maybe it's because of the storylines. Maybe it's because, there's not enough like mature themes in the game. Like maybe there's no sex, there's no violence, really. There's no cussing. But in the end, like what kind of drives me crazy and what makes me think that this is all so silly is that in the end, it's all video games. Like if there's people on the outside, people looking in at us, we're a bunch of gamers, they think we're all a bunch of nerds. Like, let's just be real. We're all a bunch of nerds. We're all in this together. And they think we're children because we're playing video games in our bedrooms. Like, that's really what's happening, And we know as a community, we're not children. We know this. We have security enough to know this. But when we're picking and choosing like this genre or this game and this franchise is kiddie, but this one isn't, and this one's mature, but this one isn't, it's just all kind of silly to me. You know what I mean? What's up, Eric? And yeah, Kofi with the Kingdom Hearts tweet. That's what kind of got me thinking about this. Shout out to Kofi because he pointed it out. There's some people out there who are excited about Kingdom Hearts 3, but yet they turn around and say Mario Odyssey is for kids. And really what it comes down to, what's up, Nia? Well, I should get Nia in here. I bet you we could have a good discussion about this because I'm sure she feels the same. What it comes down to is that they don't like the certain game, so they're going to say that game is kiddie. But when they do like a game, they're quiet. They're not going to mention it one bit. It could be the same art style. It could be freaking Disney characters, and they won't say a word. They won't say anything about it. Thanks for the sub, Reaper. Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't really do live discussions like this, but I was feeling lazy. I didn't want to edit or anything. I'm like, I'm just going to go live because I got all these ideas in my head, but I just need to spill them out. It might be all over the place, but it needs to be said. Exactly. You got people making fun of Mario, but in the same breath, hype up Super Lucky Tail. Oh, shoot. Shots fired. But yeah, you see a lot of that. A lot of hypocrisy going on. A lot of people who will say one thing for one game and then another game that they're actually interested in, they won't say a word. And it has the same art style, has the same things going on. And they won't say anything. I can't join because I'd go out in a bit. could I invite people? I'll look into that. But yeah, I wanted to get your guys' input. People on YouTube, if you're watching this later, definitely comment below. What is it, like, what's really going on? What's really going on here? I'm not going to call anybody out by name or nothing like that, but it seems to be a theme, a reoccurring theme, that people, certain people, they just cannot give Nintendo credit for anything. And it's not even just about Nintendo. It's about like other games like Super Lucky's Tale, Sea of Thieves. I've seen people say that's Kiddy too. Any kind of game that has like a bright color scheme, or, you know, it has like a cell shaded art style, something like that. People right away are like, oh, that's Kiddy. What's up, MVP? Jabe Main. We got some people in here. What's going on, you guys? Trying to get this out there. I don't really know like where I'm going with this, but I just wanted to like kind of point it out. Like, this seems to be the thing. And I understand, like, Nintendo, we're going to talk about Nintendo a lot because it's like the best example, because they have a lot of games where people say they're Kiddy. And I understand Nintendo has its issues. Like when it comes to their policies, their features or lack of, they seem to be stuck in the past a lot. But when it comes to their games, like we're strictly talking games, they've really evolved many of these games. And even if I don't like them per se, like I'm trying to think of something I don't like something from the past, maybe Kirby. Like, let's throw Kirby out there. I'm not really into Kirby like that. But Nintendo, what they do with these games is they evolve these franchises. And that's something I think all of us can give them credit for. So I don't know what it is with people. They just don't want to give Nintendo any credit for things. And I'm probably going to be called a Nintendo fangirl after this because I'm talking about them so much. And it happens. That's the latest thing, you guys. I'm a Nintendo fangirl lately. I don't know if you guys knew that. But I'm a Nintendo apologist and all this stuff. I've had so many things thrown at me the past couple of weeks just because I've like given Nintendo credit for things. I've been a Nintendo fangirl. I've been delusional. I've been I've been a Sony hater. It's like the thing right now. It's the hot topic. So if you guys want to call me a Nintendo fangirl, go ahead. Like that's the bandwagon right now. But just because I don't give, I don't know. I think what it is, this is kind of off topic, but I've noticed this with my audience lately. You are delusional. I've noticed this lately, is that, you know, I've been on my PS4 and I've been really liking a lot of games on PS4, like Bloodborne, Neo, you know, all of those games. I've given them credit. I've been really into some Sony games. So I think people got really used to that. And then when I started to say, hey, I like the Switch, guys, the Switch is actually kind of cool, they have a fit. Like, they can't really accept that. I think they followed me expecting me to be like a Sony fangirl or something, but they're misled. They've been deceived, I guess. But what's up, Spida? Old school Nintendo games were more mature. That's another thing too. I was gonna mention that. Let me get some water though. My mouth's dry like crazy. I like all kinds of games because I understand that the games I play don't make me an adult or not. Exactly, Nia. We got to touch on that. See, this is the thing. This is something that I thought of today, just this random thought. I was thinking to myself, okay, when I play a Mario game, for example, I'm going to play Mario Odyssey this fall. I'm going to be playing that day one. I'm still an adult when I get off the game. Like, you know what I mean? I still have the security of being an adult. I'm a mature person. It's not like I'm turning off the game and then I'm going across the street to play hopscotch with the kids. You know what I mean? I'm not putting on little girls' clothes, putting on some pigtails, and then going outside and playing jump rope with the neighbor kids. Like, I'm not a creep like that. We're not doing that, right? We're just playing a video game. And that's the thing. Like, I see people fight about this all the time, calling each other children's and man's bodies and this and that. Like, I've seen a lot of these types of comments where they're calling other adults out, calling them children and saying they're immature just because they play a Mario game. Or even, it's not even just Nintendo. It could be like Ukulele or or Sea of Thieves or whatever game that looks kind of like artsy or has like a cell shading kind of, you know, style or whatever. Exactly, Nia. Like I thought of that today. I'm like, it's not like I'm turning off a video game that I'm going next door and playing with the kids next door. You know what I mean? Like we still live adult lives. We still go to work. We still drive a car. We're still married and whatever else we're doing, you know? It's so crazy. Like I don't know. I think it's a lot of like ego, obviously. I mean, I think I mentioned this already. We know this is out there. It's a lot of people puffing their chest and putting down people for not playing games they play or whatever. It's just a lot of that going on. And really, in the end, what I was trying to say is like, we're still all playing video games. We're still all, you know, kids at heart. And there's like nothing wrong with that. I want to mention that too. There's nothing wrong with being kids at heart. There's nothing wrong with having some nostalgia and liking that nostalgia and reflecting on the past and, you know, thinking back to the good old days. I wanted to mention that specifically in this video because I get a lot of heat for liking Zelda and wanting to play Mario Odyssey. People will tell me, stop living in the past and stop being nostalgic. Grow up, move on. Like I've actually had people tell me that. And it's like, really? There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong. I want to tell you guys, there's nothing wrong with nostalgia. There's nothing wrong with saying, remember the good old days and talking about, you know, movies, games, whatever. And the funny thing is, these people, some of them, they'll turn around and be nostalgic about something else. They'll say, oh, I'm not going to play Mario because that's from the past. But then they'll talk about movies they really loved and how they still watched that movie. Or there's a remake of a movie and they can't wait to see it. Or, you know, there's even, you know, games, they do it too. It's like they'll do it for, they'll say nostalgia is bad for something, but then they'll turn around and say it's cool for something else. You know, it's like they never really keep it consistent. Let's keep it real. They're not being consistent. What you're talking about, Mario, is for kids. You eat shrooms in the game. But shout out to everybody in here. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but just all these thoughts in my head. I want to get it out before I move on for the day and do adult things, because I got to do some adulting today, you know? But yes, E for everyone. These games, I don't care what it is. Unless it's teaching me the ABCs and how to share toys or how to, how, you know, what the colors are. Unless it's doing that, to me, it's not Kiddy. I don't think there's a game like that. I mean, maybe there is. I don't know. But if I played a game like that, I would say, okay, I think this game is for kids. It's teaching me the colors. I think I got to move on. I think I got to put this down. But if it's not doing that, I think the games, you know, if it's E for everyone, that's really what it is. It's like for everyone. We got to remember back in the day, you guys, MVP, talking to you too. We got to remember back in the day when we played Mario, when we played Kirby or whatever game, Yoshi, like the first Yoshi games. We got to remember back then, it wasn't just kids playing those games back then. Mature adults were playing them too, especially the first Marios. Like these people are like grandparents now, but they were playing Mario too. So kind of like, you know, when you really think about it that way, it's like Mario and these other games are kind of timeless because they just keep going on and they get evolved over time, which is awesome. That's what I want to give Nintendo credit for. It's not the same game. Like Mario, it has changed so much. Zelda has changed so much. So that's the cool thing about it. If you did grow up with these games, you move on and you still want to have those games, you get to play them in a totally different form now, you know, which is pretty cool. But shoot, I was missing my other point. I forgot my other point. Lost my train of thought, but you guys kind of get where I'm coming from. Mario is meant for kids. MVP says, he says, I'm talking about what's meant for who, not who plays a given game. But can you really say, see, this is where it hurts my head because I try and see where you're coming from, but then I can't really go with that either because I can't really go down that path. Because doesn't matter who, wait, what? Don't matter who plats what? Tell me these people Exactly, Nia. Like, try and get these people to be, what is it, a Lionel and Zelda? I didn't even fight those, really. Sweet Dangos. Wait, what? They won't go out and say it, but Activision knows who's playing their game. That's another thing too. Like a lot of kids play Call of Duty now. There's a lot of people or a lot of kids, they're not even into Nintendo games anymore. She can't reply, LOL. Because it's like it hurts my head when I go down that route, because how do we know who they're really meant for? Like I don't really see niggas take it, sorry I said that word, take it personally when you say a game is for a child. Oh man, kids play what they think is cool. Only adults really play Nintendo. Man, I cannot read today, you guys. I'm tripping myself out right now. But that's the thing, MVP. Like, I don't think a lot of these games are only marketed to children. Unless they show a commercial where it's like a kid playing it and only kids, then maybe you have a point. But when you look at the Switch commercials, you've seen, you know, the whole, how do I say it? Like the industry, how they cover the games. It's all adults playing these games because these are games we grew up on. And like I said, they've evolved over time to what's the word? Like, not necessarily, well, yeah, I guess I could say like they've kind of grown up with us in their own way. Because I used to think like that too, MVP. I actually made videos saying that I don't think Nintendo has matured, or no, that's the wrong word. They've grown up with us. I used to think that, but then I started to realize like they kind of have in their own way. They've evolved these games differently. It doesn't mean they're adding sex scenes or they're adding more violence. It just means they're evolving to keep up with the times as far as, you know, graphics, even though it's not like, you know, sometimes it's not the best graphics, but they've evolved these games in so many different ways to keep up with something new and something fresh for us to play, because we could still, you know, want to play Mario, but we might not necessarily want to play the one we played as a kid, even though they're still awesome. But you get what I'm saying? Like they've evolved these games so differently now that we have a new, fresh experience. Like you can't tell me you look at Mario Odyssey and think they're not pushing Mario to the next level. Same thing with Galaxy, that happened as well, and Mario 64. When you first saw Mario 64, you're like, damn, this is totally like, this is a whole new way of looking at Mario. And that doesn't mean it's still staying kiddie or anything like that just because it's still Mario. Like they're still pushing it in different ways to experience, to give us a different experience. I just don't see why that's a bad thing. Like maybe I'm getting off tangent a little bit, but that's just kind of how I see it. It doesn't matter how hard it is. It's a challenge to kids. You'd be surprised. Like there's some kids out there, they beat some really hard games because they have more patience than us. They have more time, especially if they are, you know, on summer vacation or something. Adults, quote unquote, adults enjoy My Little Pony. I never understood why people get so sensitive. We're not being sensitive. See, that's the thing. See, that's, oh man, it's frustrating because you'll say an opinion, you'll say something, and right away, oh, you're sensitive, or you can't take the criticism when there's really no criticism there. I'm trying to understand the criticism, if you get what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to understand, well, what do people mean? Like, is it the art style? Is it the characters? You know what I mean? There's a difference between kiddie games and games that are accessible to everyone. Exactly. That E for everyone like actually means something on these games. Like if it says E for everyone, it legit means everyone. If you enjoy a kid's game. Oh man, it's too funny. Like I don't know what it is. Like people just, I don't see what's wrong about popping in a game, and if it's fun, it's fun and it's for everybody. Like I said, unless it's teaching me the ABCs, I'm not going to see it as like, oh, this game's just for kids. Like I can't play this game. It ruins my ego. I can't I can't do it. I'm a mature woman. I cannot touch Mario. Like, it just seems so weird to me. Like, I don't know. So crazy. Reaper says, I'm 12 and I beat Bloodborne. Damn, Reaper. See? I know kids, like my cousin's kids, for example. My cousin was a gamer growing up, and now his kids, they play games and stuff. One of them, I know he's beaten Metroid games, and he's only like, shoot, how old is he? He's probably like 7, 8, and he's beat Metroid games. Like, kids, you give them a game, you give them some time, they're very patient. They will beat that game. Ludin says it's easier for females to get away with. Probably. I mean, I guess I can agree with you on that. But that's kind of sad because that just makes it seem like men are insecure or something. I don't know. Like, I don't like thinking that way. Like, men should be able to play games and not take that kind of heat. But I see that a lot. Like, I see a lot of guys calling out other guys like, oh, how can you play that game? You're a kid inside of a man's body and stuff like that. And really, when it comes down to it, like, these games like Metroid, like you guys are saying, it was hard. Yeah, they're hard. They're not easy games. They're not like, oh, what letter is the letter A, and then you pick A. Like, it's not, we're not playing games like that. Like, it's not like that kind of kiddie game, I guess, if you want to call it a kiddie game. I don't know. I just want to get on here and just kind of like talk about this stuff. But yeah, it's been a trip lately. Like, I've noticed the more if I give any kind of credit to Nintendo, which it's like people forget. People forget all your other videos. They forget everything else you've ever said, and they just focus on the one thing. Like, oh, she likes Nintendo. She's a fangirl. When I've made plenty of videos complaining about Nintendo, complaining about their policies, their lack of features, all of that stuff. I've done tons of that. And they don't listen to that stuff. You're only as good as your latest video. Like this one, I already know I'm going to get that kind of heat. Like, oh, she's a fangirl, blah, blah, blah. When really I'm just trying to figure this out. Like, what makes a kiddie game? Why is it such a bad thing? Why is nostalgia so bad? I'm always going to stand by the opinion that nostalgia is perfectly fine, and I live by it every day. Like, I don't think there's a day that goes by where I'm not nostalgic. I'm just being real. I don't know if it's my age or just how I grew up. Maybe I just really like cherished my childhood or something. I don't know. But I do see a lot of comments like that. A lot of them are to me like just saying nostalgia is bad and Nintendo plays you for your nostalgia and that's why you're buying these games. And I'm just like, and okay, like, what's so bad about that? I don't know. It's just, you're right, Hombre. It is all subjective. Like, if we really had to sit down and write the definition of what makes a kiddie game, we're all going to have different definitions. That's for sure. Like, it's all subjective in the end. Nia's like, it's because you like good games and of all genres. Pretty much, yeah. Like, I'm always open to anything. Kingdom Hearts, for example, I didn't grow up on it, never played them, but I totally get why people are excited. They grew up on those games. They have a, how do I say, like, they cherish those games. They like those characters, and they're Disney characters, some of them, you know, and people could say, well, that's kiddie, but they grew up on these games. I totally get it. Like, I totally get their nostalgia for it. In the end, it's all games. It's all what we grew up on, what we hold dear, and what we like. It's just, that's how I think of it. In the end, it just comes down to that. When they don't like a game, some of these people will throw things at it. Well, it's kiddie, it's this, it's that. And then when they like something that's similar, they're nowhere to be found. They don't say the same. They don't say the same thing they said before. They don't say anything. So it is what it is, you guys. Sports games are E for everyone, so sports games are kiddie games. This is a scientific fact. I don't know. Maybe it's just some kind of thing where people, the idea of just jumping on stuff, you know, like in a Mario game, they just think that's maybe because it reminds them of being a kid, or that's what they played as a kid, so they're just over it, and that's fine. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, you have to like Mario or you have to like this. You naturally move on to something else, MVP. You know, it's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But to put others down and to shame people and and just completely write off a game, just completely say it's trash, completely say it sucks just because it's quote unquote kiddie. That's where the problem lies. It's like you can have your opinion, you could not like the game or whatever, but to Nia's going in, to just completely write something off because you think it's kiddie is just, I don't know, it's just kind of silly to me. It's kind of silly. I hope this video is kind of like not all over the place. I feel like it is. Going live is weird, especially when you're by yourself. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm probably gonna end in a minute or so, but Keith is like, so you getting that Splatoon 2, right? I don't think I am. People keep asking me, but I'm not really interested in Splatoon. And I have a lot of games that I'm trying to beat. It's like ridiculous. I actually rather have Crash Bandicoot than Splatoon. I'm actually like a step away from buying Crash Bandicoot. So, VGL, what's up? I'll be watching you guys if you stream Splatoon 2. I do want to, I mean, I want to watch it. Maybe I'll get the urge, maybe. Because sometimes when I watch like my favorite streamers play it, or I'll come across a video where the gameplay just looks super fun, like it changes my mind. That's what's happening with Crash Bandicoot. Like I'm watching people die a lot. I'm watching people rage, and it makes me want to play it. You know me, I like to punish myself, I guess. I like to play hard games. I like to see where I stand. Like, am I good? Can I do it? I want to see if the game is really that hard. So that's, I think, what's like attracting me to Crash Bandicoot so much. And that's another game I didn't play growing up. I grew up on Nintendo. You guys know this. And when it came to PlayStation, I would play it here and there, but I didn't play everything. I would just like borrow stuff, pretty much. Or like my friend would come over and show me a game or something like that. That's kind of my experience with PlayStation. The PS4 is my first PlayStation console I've ever owned. So that's just like a fun fact, so in case you guys don't know. Zelda got the same story for years. Erica, you should review more games. I know. Reviews are really tough though, MVP. Like I really tried to review Horizon Zero Dawn. Like I started talking on doing a commentary. I started recording it and I just went in circles. I think I have to like really write it out, or I don't know. Because people are asking me, where's your Horizon review? I think I even had one person ask me, why are you scared to say the truth? Because they knew I didn't really enjoy it that much. And they're like, why are you scared? You're scared of the Sony fans. And I'm like, dude, I went to Hawaii for a week. I forgot about it. I totally ran out of time. And then when I tried to talk about the game, I tried to talk about how my, what do you call it? Open world fatigue really ruined my experience. So it wasn't necessarily Horizon's fault. Like I really tried to explain that in a video, but I just couldn't get it out right. They are daunting, Nia. They are kind of tough. Because like I really want to say everything perfectly and it never happens. And then I get all critical about myself. Like I didn't say that right. And I forgot to say this. And then there I am adding pieces. And it's just a long process, you guys. Like reviews are really tough at times. Write bullet points. I typically do. But even then it was rough. What's up, Garuda? Crash 3 better than Crash 2. I want to play that first one because the first one looks hard. But you guys are saying it's trash? Is it really that trash? Crash is trash. Stop. I don't know. I just kind of want to try it. Try it out. We got Ultra in here. We got all the Nintendo fans in here. That's what's up. But yeah, anyways, you guys, what else? Am I missing anything? I feel like I'm forgetting something. I don't remember. I want to play Horizon. I've had enough time with Zelda. My advice is if you just can't, if you're coming from, if you're coming from Zelda and you want to play Horizon, take a little break. Don't jump right in. That's my advice. This is how it went down for me. Ultra, I'll get back to you. But when this is how it happened for me, right? Okay, I started with Neo. You guys know how hard I went on Neo. I put in many hours on Neo. Then I went to Horizon because Horizon came out, played it for a day or two. Then Zelda came out. Completely dropped Horizon. Played Zelda for like 70 hours, as much as I could whenever I was off work, whatever. Freaking got so burnt out on open world because of that game. And I'm blaming Zelda. It's not a bad thing. It's not like Zelda's bad. I'm blaming Zelda because I was really burnt out. I felt like no matter how much I did in that game, it was never enough because there's just so much to freaking do. There's so much to do in Zelda, and you can go anywhere, climb anything. That takes so much time at times. Like you would see like a cave or something in the distance. Like, oh, I'm gonna go over there. I got 10 minutes before bed. Let me go check that spot out real quick. Next thing you know, 2 hours goes by and you're freaking tired the next day at work. Like that happened so many times, so many freaking times. So I had that experience, right? Then BG, shout out to the big boss, he hits me up. Hey, I got a code for the Surge. You want it? I'm like, well, of course. This looks like a Soulsborne kind of game. I'm down. So I played the Surge, raged out many times at that game. And by the end of the Surge, by the end of my time with that, I was so burnt out. And I didn't even realize it until I started Horizon. I was like, I had the bright idea, like, okay, I'm going to start Horizon. I'm going to get back on it. Went back to Horizon, and I was just completely tired of open world, even though the Surge isn't really open. But I just put so much time into these games, Zelda especially, when I went to Horizon. It was a bad time, and I wasn't really fair to the game. So that's why I didn't really do a review, because I felt like I was just going to be super negative about things that it's not even the game's fault. Like the game set out what it was going to do. It did what it was supposed to do, but it just felt like it was dragging. It was just a whole thing, the Zelda effect, pretty much. And people, they question it all the time. Like, how can you blame Zelda? I don't get it. They don't understand. And it's not like we're pinning the gameplays against each other. It's not like I'm saying Zelda's gameplay made Horizon's gameplay suck. That's not what I'm saying, like, at all. It's just that Zelda burned me out. And then I tried to play Horizon, and I was just not having it. Like I pushed myself through it. I felt like I was forcing myself to play it, and that was bad. That was my fault. I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have did that at all. I'll take the blame for that. I probably should have took more time off. I should have started after I came back from Hawaii. I think that would have been a better idea. But instead, I played it right after the Surge and did not have the patience. Did not. But it is a good game. I'm not saying Horizon's a bad game. It does have its glitches here and there. There's a couple things that I didn't appreciate, like getting stuck on stuff. That did happen. But other than that, it's a good game. It's just that I was fatigued. I was very fatigued. I think if it was any game, like if I started Nier Automata, I might have had feelings about that game too. Or if I would have started, what else? Mass Effect, I probably would have been like, oh God, I can't play this right now. Like, it could have been any game. So I don't want to say, oh, it's just Horizon. Like the Zelda effect could go to any game. Just throw that out. So I highly advise you, like Nia, whoever else, put some space between Zelda and Horizon. Like play some linear games or play like some short games. Take a little break, then go to Horizon. Take a vacation. Do something. Like that's what I should have did. I should have waited, but it is what it is. That was essentially going to be my review video. I was just going to explain all this. Like, it's not really the game's fault. It's just this is how it went down, you know. But anyways, we're talking about Horizon a lot here. We're going into different topics. Battlefield 1. Yeah, you guys. Oh, I don't have no mods in here. Wait, Nia should be a mod for sure. I got Eric. Eric's a mod. Let me just add Nia as a mod for the future. That's the other big boss right there. that's the original boss. The video game her. Speaking of which, Nia, you have an awesome video. You in that interview with oh, what's her name? One Stop? What the heck's her name? Let me know, Nia, because I don't want to butcher anything. But she has an awesome interview with another female gamer, and they talk about just being a female gamer, being someone of color. Like, it's really interesting. I think you guys would really enjoy it. Go to the Video Game Hers channel, iPod One Reviewer. There we go. Check it out. It's very interesting. I thought it was really good. So yeah. Aloy better than every Sony main character? Oh, that's shots fired. I really liked Aloy though. Let me say that. Aloy was very likable. She was a good character. She was a very good character. But let me just end with this about Horizon. Let me end with this because I really stand by this. The story started really good because it was all about Aloy, like finding her origins, finding who she is, where she came from. I was all about it. I was really invested in that story. But then, and not to give spoilers away or nothing like that, let me try and keep the spoiler free, but it started to become about everyone else. The story started to become, I can't even talk. How do I say this? It started to be about the other characters and what she can do for them. And that's where it kind of fell off for me. Like, I felt like it started to drag. It started to take the story in directions I didn't want it to go. And I think that's where I started to feel like, okay, I'm not really feeling this anymore, story-wise. Because Aloy, we all know she's an outcast. Now they're saying Aloy looks like a man. Oh gosh, but you know, we know she was an outcast. People didn't like her. They barely could even look at her. They didn't even want to talk to her. And then they find out how important she is. And then all of a sudden, oh, we love Aloy. Aloy, help me do this, help me do that. We care about you. And I just didn't like that. I didn't appreciate that. Who said Aloy looks like a man? Ludens? I don't know. Who said she looks like a man? I don't see it. Big boss, no Adam's apple. Oh, man. But yeah, the story, I feel like the story kind of fell off for me just because of that. And that one guy, I forget his name, but the guy who guides her and he sees through her focus. Do you guys know his name? The bald guy? I didn't like him at all. Like, he was so insensitive, and every time Aloy would have like an emotional moment or something, he'd be like, okay, when you're done crying, can we move on? Like, he was just like a jerk. I didn't like him. I didn't like some of the other supporting characters. Is it Silence? That sounds familiar. That guy was trash. I did not like him. And then of course in the end, like, whatever, I won't spoil it, but you know, he wasn't the best guy. And yeah, just dealing with him, having to find these audio files, having to climb up this thing because he said so. Like, I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it at all. But Aloy as a character, I did really like her. People, I don't know who's saying she looked like a man, but you're crazy. I thought she was pretty. She was kind of a funny looking kid, but other than that, I mean, she was pretty to me. I don't know what you guys are talking about. But yeah, Silence, I didn't like that guy. People shouldn't have feelings. But no, Nia, it's a good game. Anybody else who hasn't played it yet, definitely play it if it looks interesting to you. I'm not trying to say the game's trash, not at all. It's just I was not in the right, I guess, state of mind to be playing that game. Like I had a lot of fatigue from long games, and of course things are going to feel like they drag. If I don't like the story, then yeah, it's really going to kind of weigh on the whole experience. And the thing with Horizon is that the story became important because the gameplay is cool, but it was never to the point where like the gameplay was everything. It wasn't like a Bloodborne or something like that where like it's all about the gameplay and the story is second. Horizon, the story was kind of first. And so when it dropped off, then the game itself kind of dropped off, if that makes any sense. That's just me. That's just my opinion. What's up, LeBron? Got some people coming in and out of here. Semi. Semi's a beast at Battlefield 1, just so you guys know. So is who else? Eric. Eric Empire, he's a beast. MVP, he's all right. MVP, I'm always gonna go back to that moment we were playing Battlefield 1, and I think you were what class were you? I think, yeah, I was asking for ammo, and you straight looked at me and then walked away. I was like, seriously? You're not gonna draw me some ammo? I'm always gonna remember that. J-Main too, we gotta play. Maybe later on tonight. Let me know, you guys. Let me know if you guys want to play some Battlefield 1. And then yeah, Nia, I think I seen something about Killing Floor. We gotta play that too. Me, you, and Jay-Lisa. If you guys want to see that, let me know. Yeah, you were the supply class. I was trying to get some ammo off of you, and you just straight walked away. But you've saved me a couple other times. I'm not gonna lie. 30 frames per second shooters. Oh, I'm used to it. I know it's peasantry to the PC people, but I'm used to lag. I'm used to working around issues. Like I played Gears of War. That's all you need to know. I pushed through Gears of War and played with that lag. I played with all that craziness going on. All right, Nia, I'll let you go. I'm gonna end this right now. Actually, I'm gonna end this. My mouth is so dry right now. Talking too much. And I keep hearing that little click off the side of my mouth. I don't know if you guys ever have some weird things that go on when you talk. I have a click. My left ear clicks a little bit. Origami. All right, Ultra. I've been trying to play that game with my girl Shar. Me and her, we've been trying to set like a little stream date where she streams and I stream. I've been trying to play that with her. But if she flakes, me and you, Ultra, we playing that game. You guys have a good day. Thanks for listening. I hope it all made sense. And yeah, if you're watching this later on YouTube, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about the whole mature games and, puffing out your chest. You can't play any quote unquote kiddie games. And is that like, do they have valid reasons? What exactly is a kiddie game? Tell me in the comment section. And I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace.